Hey, my name is Marco Muehlner, and I am the VP of Marketing here at ShopIgniter. And I thought I would just take a few minutes to give you a high-level overview of what is social performance marketing and how you can get started. All right, let's dive in. So the first question is why? Why even think about social in this kind of new way? And the answer is really easy. So at a core kind of challenge of every marketer that's doing digital marketing today is, how am I going to acquire new customers? And that can mean for you, get people to check out through your e-commerce site. That may mean get a lead to fill out a form so that you can sell them a credit card application. It may mean anything. But generally, what we're talking about is, how do we get people to opt into communications from us or begin the consideration process of buying our products? And today we tend to do that through the core of digital, which are kind of via display advertising and via search. And the way we do that is we've set up models where we go out there and we buy media or we buy keywords and we put creative in front of them, and we are able to generate leads, for lack of a better term, and we can kind of make it pretty normal. We have a sense of how many we can capture per week, at our cost per each one, and generally today in search and display, the value, the high quality of the leads that we capture are pretty variable. On search, it can be better. We can get people who are actually intending or looking for the kind of products we sell. In display, it's a little bit harder, right? Maybe we're running sweepstakes and it's a little bit harder to kind of get the people that we want. Well, what I'm talking about here now is social, and social is a whole new cloud, obviously. It's a whole new area where people are spending more and more of their time, and in order to reach them, there's a whole different set of kind of complexities and expertise that is required. And here at ShopIgniter, we have cracked the code on basically performance marketing for social. And what that means is really driving key business outcomes at the top, middle, and bottom of your business funnel. And we know, we've proven it out for many, many customers, that not only can we increase the amount of people that you're going to generate from social, we can reduce the cost that you pay for each one of them, and we can do a better job of getting the really high quality people that are most important to driving your business. So in a nutshell, that is why we do social performance marketing. Now let's talk a little bit about how. So I think it's really important to start, as we set the context for social, that we look at these key stats. And these are staggering, right? So these are Facebook stats. Twitter is very close behind. But Facebook has shared that as of today, it may actually be a little bit higher because it's moving so quickly, 80% of US daily users on Facebook are on a mobile device. 80%. And as of their last Q3 earnings here, they reported that this has actually now gone up. It's no longer 219 million, it's 254 million monthly users are mobile only. That means that they are only using mobile devices to access Facebook. That is more people than the total number of people that use Twitter. Okay, so you get that? So there are more mobile-only users of Facebook than there are total users of Twitter. And so basically, when we talk about social, whether you're doing organic posting, whether you're trying to drive key outcomes for your brand or business, we are talking about mobile. And the social mobile context is by far the most important way to think about this stuff. Second, when we start looking at kind of the marketing ecosystem and the vendors that have been set up around doing great work here in social, we find that there's these key combinations of things that go into the recipe that drives success. There's social advertising, and that is literally taking media dollars and doing media buying on the social networks, reaching key targets. There's what we call content marketing, right, which is a mix of kind of video content, photography, quizzes, questions, all of the kind of stuff that we know about that drives kind of engagement and conversion. And then there is using the data that we get, and this is what we do in display, this is what we do in search. We use the data that we capture from both of those to drive optimization, both optimization of the ad buying and optimization of the content. Today, these are all different silos. You've got ad vendors at the top. You've got social media marketers and managers on the bottom managing the communities. And conversion optimization is usually left for analysts to feed back into the marketing team after a campaign is done. But what social does is it really, really collapses this stack, and it enables us now, and in fact it forces us to do all three of these things together. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let me here walk you through. This is a bit of a detailed slide, but let me walk you through. At the top, today, these are the different challenges that marketers face when they set out to do social performance marketing. At the top, there's delivery, right, which is creating ads to reach the right target audiences. And like I said, many of the brands that we talked to today, they've got an ads vendor, and that vendor is accountable to, building fan loyalty, building fan communities, running right rail advertising, maybe doing a little bit of work in the stream. Anyway, they're thinking about top of the funnel work. The complexities of the social networks are insane. The abilities that you have to target within Facebook and the emerging abilities you have within Twitter to reach the right consumers are insane. But they're fantastic and amazing, but they're complicated and they're always changing. And the data silos are complex, right? The Twitter data is different than the Facebook data, which is different than what potentially LinkedIn or Pinterest or Instagram is going to provide, right? So you need some help around how am I going to do this delivery piece. The next piece is what we call destination, which is this, where are you going to drive people to? And today that's a mix of apps. So there's a slew of traditional desktop app vendors that have been slow to make the transition to mobile. Their apps work okay, some of them in mobile, but they're certainly not built for mobile. Or you have an existing website, so you have something like your e-commerce site and you want to drop them there. And again, maybe you have gotten to the point where you've optimized that site, but you have for mobile, but you haven't necessarily built it for mobile. It's not there to drive micro conversions. It's not considering the social context and the mobile context, which, as we all know as consumers, that's a bit different, right? We're not going to sift through piles and piles of data as we look at products. We want to look at a carousel of photos, or we want to look at a couple of videos, or just get a quick sense of reviews and what other people think, right? There's a difference between optimizing an experience for mobile versus just making it mobile enabled. A lot of those tools today, whether it's our IT teams or our agencies that have built them, there's no easy back-end CMS or content management system that allows us to manage that experience. And in social, you can't just create an ad and put it everywhere and walk away and call it done, right? We all know you've got to continue to post. You've got to reach different segments. There's all sorts of complexities here, in which case the content that you deliver needs to match to that ad unit. And so you can even do one-to-one, right? So here's an example that we did for a Sony Music group. They wanted to drive email opt-ins for a contest they were running. Here is the Elvis example where they're giving away an Elvis box set. Well, they have also, when you have a CMS and it's easy to update it very quickly, you can use the exact same template, but let's say put Pearl Jam in there and target that at a different segment, right? Or Led Zeppelin or Grateful Dead or whoever you want. You can put that in there, you can run it. It's the same campaign, it runs through the same lead gen form, but having a CMS, having the ability to actually manage that content quickly on the fly, post again, is essential in the social mobile context. Again, you have data silos here. So if you have your third-party vendor or your IT team, how are you going to get the tags in there so that you make sure you're getting the information that you want, that you're passing the right parameters, right? Data is a real challenge here in these different siloed environments. And like I said before, optimization is a real challenge. Really figuring out how many people are coming through these experiences, because I've got Facebook data and I've got third-party Omniture Web Trends data and Google Analytics data, and I'm trying to figure out which is going to work together and drive all of those pieces. It's really, really difficult to do that. And when you start to piece together data like that, it can be pretty unreliable. Well, what we do, literally, we have built the platform that solves this problem. In our platform, the Igniter platform, we're able to help with the delivery piece. In fact, we are experts in the delivery piece, from ad strategy to building high-value key audience segments, to reaching those segments, to keeping your CPMs down, to managing all of that kind of stuff. And because you're buying a whole platform, you don't have to pay your ad vendor and your app vendor and your IT team and your analysts and all that stuff. It all comes together in a platform. So buying becomes incredibly easy. We then also have what I call this agile CMS with the ability to create all sorts of different interesting landing experiences or destinations, and I'll show you a bit more about that. Super important, built mobile first, built for the mobile experience to drive key outcomes. Like I said, customer acquisition, that is our goal here. How do we use this tool set to get to not only engaging consumers, which I think we're so good at today on social, but how do we get them to complete some sort of outcome, whether that's, in this case, fill out a form, whether it's looking at products and adding them to cart, whether it's using our retail finder to find a local retailer, capturing a coupon, whatever it is, whatever the high value outcome that you want to drive, it's the combination of content and conversion. Got it? And then the last piece that I think is really important, and I think this is an emerging trend, Facebook has gotten here first, but Facebook has now enabled us to put tracking code, Facebook tracking code, at any point in the experience that we want. So let's say it's on the click to the post, it's on somebody looking here in the middle at the carousel and looking at the different pictures here, and then it's someone popping up this form and submitting the form. Every time something that we want to happen happens, we can send a little signal, blip, blip, we put little tags in here, send them back to Facebook, and then that helps us optimize our ad buying. So we basically say to Facebook, send us more people like the person who submitted this form, right? And that is key. This idea of conversion optimization, integrated conversion optimization, it is huge. It is huge. It is the difference in the ability to be able to drive outcomes through social. And on this platform, on our platform, it's all integrated in, right? It just makes it super easy. You're going to push this post out. You're going to drive them to this experience that we've created. And like I said, it's super flexible. It's got the tags in it, so you're optimizing against all of those conversion events, and you're driving the outcomes that you want to drive. Perfect. Let's keep moving. So let's dive a little bit deeper into delivery. We'll dive a little bit deeper into destination and optimization, then we'll be done. So again, everybody understands this. We're going to go out and reach segments. We're going to drive them to an experience, and then we're going to drive this outcome. We're going to optimize the conversion both in the media and drive more people who are similar to the people that are converting back through the system. We're basically building little conversion machines. Well, in Facebook and Twitter too, like I said, there is a growing amount of ways that you can find, reach, engage your customers in the social ecosystems. I won't go through all of these, but we talked about lookalike. We know about organic posting to fans and then promoting those even farther out to our fans, and even sponsoring stories where anybody that shares our experiences, that then gets amplified out. All of those things are fantastic for reaching peer groups and friends of friends. We can also now do what's called unpublished posting, which is we can create a post that is not going to show up on our page timelines, but it is only going to be used as an ad, for example, and it is only going to be targeted to specific people. And in that case, we can start to do some A/B testing. So we can say, I want to reach women 18 to 25 in San Francisco, and I want to reach women 18 to 25 in Seattle, because I figure they're probably pretty similar. And I'm going to push different creative to both of them, and we're going to see which drives the best outcomes, and then we're going to optimize that and go broader as we scale on geo, right? We can do retargeting, and as we know from retargeting through the Google ecosystem, through e-commerce, through things like that, it's incredibly effective to reach people and capture intent through social by retargeting. So anybody that comes through our experiences, as I showed you, can be retargeted. We can put the pixel on them, and anytime that person then shows up in the Google networks or anywhere else for that matter, we can push the right kinds of content to them. Hey, I noticed that you looked at my headphones in social. Now I'm going to hit you with a 10% off coupon when next time you're on Google, right? We can also retarget people in Facebook. So if somebody comes to your e-commerce site and they look at the headphones, next time they're in Facebook, you can make sure that they see the richer experience, maybe a set of videos and the opt-in to get alerts for the next time the new headphones come out, right? So we can use retargeting in multiple ways. And then the last ones I'll say here are just custom audiences, which I think is a fantastic way of reaching audiences, if you don't know already, if you have large databases, email databases, for example, and you don't yet have lots of fans, or you're not quite sure if those fans are your fans on Facebook are the same as the folks you have in your database, you can create custom audiences. You can basically upload your email database, and you retain rights to it. Facebook does not keep your data. They just create an ad group. They match it against their data, and they create an ad group. And so you could pull just people that filled out the top level of your form yesterday on your website and reach them on Facebook with the next level offer, and drive more engagement that way. So creating multi-touch experiences through your funnel, pushing people through based on the people that you know, is incredibly powerful here in Facebook. So the delivery options and our ability to target and reach the right people is massive and super important. Let's talk a bit about destination. So like I said, right, this all happens on mobile, within our existing news feeds. Everything on mobile happens within the mobile app and the Facebook Chrome. So if you look here, I see a post here. It's compelling. This is something we did for Oblivion, for the Universal Studios. I see this post. I tap on it. It slides to the left. And here I am with a mix of engaging content. In this case, there's some amazing videos, not only trailers, but behind the scenes and special effects and how you make the movie, interviews with Tom Cruise, so really interesting things. And then some very clear calls to action. So in this case, it had a great soundtrack, right? So with one tap to buy the soundtrack, I'm literally in the iTunes Music Store listening to the songs, right? Because it's in mobile, I understand the context, it's built for this context. Or I want to go and buy tickets. So I'm going to drive directly to retail in this context. Go buy movie tickets to Oblivion. Perfect combination of engagement and calls to action, driving outcomes, optimized against the key outcomes that we want to drive. Every time there's a video view, we're sending that signal back into Facebook to buy the media that drives more people that will be interested into doing that. And with kind of the flexibility of the platform, it allows us to think much more broadly about the things that we can do in the stream and the types of brand and business outcomes that we can drive, right? So starting on the left, from reach and awareness and getting people to engage and understand what it is that we do, from video carousels to lookbooks to jukeboxes. And then as we move down to the right, social amplification, bringing in Instagram feeds and YouTube videos and hashtag campaigns and telling people to go and take pictures on Instagram with your hashtag, and then bringing that all in here in real time so you can take a picture and see it. And then as you move farther down the right, here's an automotive example where I want to really drive product discovery and exploration. I want them really to kind of consider and look at different colors and spin my car and maybe watch a couple of videos. And then as we go down to the right, even lead capture. So here is an example potentially for Bank of America. You're interested in buying a home, here's a little video about how to with a checklist, and if you want to talk to somebody here, fill out this little form. Super easy, captured the lead, let's have a conversation. Make sense? Cool. And then lastly, right, like most of our marketing, there are some levers that we have through this process that we really, really try to focus on, right? So the first one at the top on the left is impressions. So not only reaching the right people, like we talked about all of our segmentation options, but how do we scale this thing? How do we really get to as many people as we possibly can to drive them through our conversion machines? And in Facebook and Twitter, there's all sorts of different ways and levers and ways that we can kind of manage the cost per thousand, which is really tends to be one of the key levers that we're watching. Keep those CPMs low. If they go high, then we need to adjust on the other end in order to keep our cost per leads down, or the cost per acquisition generally, to keep those down. So we're always kind of trying to balance. We want scale, we want as many people as we can through these things, but we're not willing to pay too much to get to that scale. So how are we kind of managing the rest of it? Link clicks, obviously. So how many people, of the people that are seeing our ad, how many people are clicking through? Is the offer compelling? Is the copy compelling? Is the photo compelling? We can play with those. We can test and learn there. We're always looking to drive down our cost per clicks, drive up our click-through rates, right? Get more and more people into our experiences. Once people are in our experiences, are they watching the videos? Are they looking through the product collections that we're presenting? Are they looking through the lookbooks and engaging with the content that we have there? What are we really paying to get video views, for example? And then as we go farther down and we're trying to drive those key brand and business outcomes, are people submitting the form? Are they adding products to the cart? Are we driving people down deeper into the e-commerce website? And then ultimately, how are we controlling for that cost? Can we beat our current cost per lead and scale this thing? And in social, absolutely we can. There's all sorts of ways that we can do this when we control everything end to end, from the ad buying to the banner to the ads themselves, the ad creative, to these experiences that happen right behind the click. Instead of trying to manage it with IT or your agency partners, you got to be agile here, right? If you're going to drive the kinds of outcomes that you need. And then the last piece is kind of the reporting part, right? So those are the levers that drive optimization, but we also need rich data integration, right? So we talked about the data silos. It can be really hard to pull in the Facebook data and understand what the Facebook data is telling us about impressions and engagements with our posts and how many people are clicking through, and then passing that data into our Omniture or Google Analytics or Web Trends and trying to piece all of those things together. Well, we do that because we already have it built in. We're passing URL strings from the ads into the experiences. We're pushing the experiences and the conversion events back in to the Facebook ecosystem and back into our ad creative, right? So we can really close the loop here, and we can see down to the dollar every stage: impressions, engagements, expands, considerations, conversions, all the way through how each of our posts are performing and how overall our campaigns are performing. And it's this stuff that not only helps us improve campaigns in real time, but helps us go to the next campaign and think bigger about, okay, well, now we know what key segments are going to drive our conversions. Now let's think about what the next offer for that engagement segment is. And it helps us test and learn campaign to campaign and get better and better, not only within a campaign, but over the course of an annual plan. Make sense? Excellent. Well, that's all I've got for you. Hopefully that was rich enough and got your gears turning. If you have any questions, literally, if there's anything that we can help with, answer questions, even if you're not ready for a partner to help you with these kinds of programs, we would love to help answer questions or just be an advisor. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much for your time. Bye.